All right, welcome to the Analytics Instrumentation Office Hour. It's the 19th of October, and we didn't get any visitors or questions from outside the team. So we talked about going through an issue, or kind of potentially debug an issue that came up yesterday. And see if we can figure that out.
I can share my screen.
Share your screen, yeah. So the situation is that on Basti's machine, we have a problem in the monitor that I cannot reproduce. But yeah, so let's see.
Okay, so I think I had this happen to me not only on your branch but also on master. So that's master from the state of yesterday. I'm not gonna update now because otherwise I'm probably gonna need to install some additional gems or whatever. So we were looking at the metrics for the CI template included event, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so we have I'm just gonna run the runner. Oops. And console. I'm actually not sure, like maybe that's a good question for the monitor as well, because the my GDK instance is running since yesterday, and so I guess that's also why the Snowplow micro instance is also running since yesterday and still has these events in there.
Yeah.
The monitor for the relevant metrics, it always starts at 0. Oh no, it has the initial value and current value, right? So
yeah,
if there would have been also already something counted,
yeah,
then this initial value should already be bigger, right?
Yeah, you would think so.
So I mean, just looking at the
yeah, from the timestamps on the events, they should be definitely in both the last 7 days and the last 28-day metric.
Yeah, and the CI template included one. It's kind of doing unique by project ID. And so I have 3 different project IDs here. 1, 2, and 3. So in theory, my expectation would have been that both of those are at 3. And we can actually try this again. So if I mean, if I send something with, for example, project third again, I wouldn't even expect the relevant metric to increase. So it doesn't do that. So we can see that.
But you would expect it not to be 0, right?
Yeah, I would have expected to not be 0 from the start.
Yeah.
And does fourth work? Let's see. Even
I think you can go up to 10. Yeah. Okay.
So just doesn't. So events are coming in. Redis metrics are either not counted, or something's wrong with the monitor. Like.
Yeah, I think there are a few things that could happen. So that's worth checking. One is that we check Redis directly and see if the keys are updated. Another thing is that the monitor is using a bit of a hack because it's extending the time frame for the metrics. But the metrics would usually, when we do a service ping computation, it's looking at the last full week and the last or the last 4 full weeks. Right, so that means if you submit a new event now, it won't be included in the metric. Right, so there is a bit of a hack to extend the last kind of the until period of the or kind of the window size that it's looking at. But I think let's start by looking at Redis.
Okay, I think you posted the
yeah.
Just gonna look that quickly up so that I can copy it out. And okay, that's interesting. So this, oops. Sorry. So this should theoretically give me a bunch of keys, right?
Yeah, so some keys, yeah. And
There's
it's
some.
not.
Should I test for some other events just to be
Yeah,
sure that
just if you try to, if you just delete the part until the curly braces and leave the asterisks.
okay.
The suffix. Yeah.
I mean
Then
like this.
yeah. Yeah, okay. So it looks like the last keys you had updated was week 40, and we're week 42 now.
I also don't do anything regularly. Like I don't play around with the local key instance necessarily regularly because I don't work on bigger issues with it. So it's I mean, what we can do maybe is also just try the monitor out with a different event and see if that still works, to see that whether it's kind of specific to this event or a general issue with maybe my local configuration or something.
We could try the iSearch total.
Okay. Maybe just, I think
we would expect that to have at least an initial value, because it has a key from week 40.
This one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a bunch of them with an initial value, and now I could see what happens. Not updating anything, is it?
It's not updating, no.
Just to make sure, I'm just gonna add a namespace. This isn't creating. Good.
I'll just see if I can find a snippet of code. I would like to for you to try to check from the Rails console if you can query Redis. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me put that here and in the chat. So if you do that and then replace the keys with the whole string from the Redis console, so including the curly brackets and the weak numbers.
Okay, so just
and
like
the
just
date.
take one of the ones that we have here.
Yeah, you can. You should be able. Yeah, you should be able to take anyone. Yeah.
Probably still. That looks.
Yeah, that looks right. So you can have one.
I think that's consistent probably with. I mean, what is that unique active user?
Yeah.
That makes sense because I mean I've always been like just logged in with one.
Yeah.
User.
Okay. So that's working. Could it be? Could it be a feature flag maybe? Could you have disabled? Could you have disabled tracking on your setup for some reason? Let me just see.
Ha. That would be stupid, but let's see. I know a potential
maybe you did
solution to this. Because to give you some background, or maybe I can also quickly share my browser while we investigate this. Let's hope it can start up. I think we can also maybe test this even in the. I need to migrations. Quickly share my screen again. Share. So what it could be.
Do you have the service ping disabled, maybe?
Yeah, I think that could be the case. Just need to quickly find how I call this. Why the figure? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Stupid. Sorry.
That's no worries, but so.
Yeah, but that's so just to give you and also if anyone ever kind of watches this some context, that's actually something we have an issue for removing because it's completely inconsistent. So what's currently happening is if you disable service ping, or if you disable optional data, it depends a bit on your license and everything. But if you disable that kind of stuff, then instead of it only affecting whether service ping is sent or which data is sent with service ping, it actually prevents events from being collected in the first place. And that's something that we want to change, because there's no reason why you shouldn't be able, like, why your local instance shouldn't be still collecting Redis metrics and Redis counters and so on. I mean, there's no PII data there. So there's no concern there. And from a user perspective, the problem comes with whether you're willing to share this data or not with GitLab, not with initially collecting it. So somewhere in the Redis HLL code, there's and it's linked in the issue that's pertaining to that. There's an if clause around, okay, if product intelligence is not enabled, then please don't even collect this, which is completely backwards, and which we're going to remove in the coming milestone. So the milestone from now on, then this the setting will no longer affect what's happening in the local instance. It will only affect what's being sent out then with the automatic service ping.
Okay.
And I think
we have an open issue for that?
Sorry?
Do we have an open issue for that is already on in the current milestone?
Yeah, in 16.6.
Yeah.
Let me quickly find it. I can link it in the in the office hours. Yeah, sorry for kind of creating problem or
no
problems with that.
I mean, it was good to verify. It's also a very good thing to kind of step through debugging this, and I mean,
yeah, we can probably
it's a
even
good
quickly
debugging exercise.
just to verify where it is. I think
I think that's it.
but maybe it's also using some other. I'm not gonna find it so quickly, but it's this product intelligence enabled that's somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's in the HLL Redis counter. There's a track method line.
Yeah, there's this return unless service. Yeah, that's it. If I can probably just, like, if I remove that line now. Everything should be back to working again.
You can do reload exclamation mark in the console if you.
Yeah, I know. I recently, or forget about kind of how it's exactly always done, and then just kind of fall back to this. But let's quickly see what happens if I do one of those again. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. All right, but that's good.
Yeah. A simple line can kind of send you on a half-an-hour chase.
Right. It's not going to be a problem that events are collected and then when people turn on this checkbox in the UI, it will send historical data also. Like
no, not at all. It's more about communicating it correctly.
Okay.
I think that's a bit of a mess right now anyway. But where we want to get to is separating more clearly the service ping process which is kind of like service ping is not the data per se. It's more this process of sending the data once per week.
Yeah.
And so enabling service ping just means that this data, this usage data, or however you want to call it, is being sent from collecting it. And if we kind of make it clear in the settings that, okay, if you do a check mark there or here, this is only affecting what's being sent, not what's being collected, then I think this is all fine. Then it's not gonna change. And I think it's actually kind of more, matches more with people's expectations. And there's also a business reason right now, for example, that air-gapped customers, which cannot send a service ping automatically, and for them it's disabled, optional data is disabled, and then this data doesn't get collected, but they, in lots of cases, they would actually be interested in understanding their usage better, but for that, the events would need to be kind of counted. So, and they're sending us then, like, manually sending service ping data or analyzing it locally, but the events are completely missing, or I think it just shows up as 0. And so that's why, from a business perspective, it would also make sense to kind of enable this so that people are at least able to analyze this locally rather than kind of not being able to do this at all.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Right then,
But
thanks a lot for helping me debug this.
No problem. But I guess we should wrap up. We are at time and we have no more on the agenda. So,
right.
Cool.
Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.